The car's got a little skittish there. I don't know if it wanted to change lanes or what.
Oh, do you have an autopilot?
Yeah, it's in full self-driving.
Oh, how weird.
I've been a self-driving beta tester for over a year.
Oh, so you're a test driver.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even know they had those. I didn't know you had the different steering wheel too.
Yep.
I never seen that one.
I got the Yoke in December of 22, 21? I forget. I think 21, yeah. I've had it for a long time. It's great.
You like it better?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very much a subjective thing, you know, styling. As far as its function, it's really no different than a steering wheel once you get used to it. Because your brain just sort of rewires to the shape of the Yoke. I do find it a lot more comfortable, especially being on the road for a long time because of the flat base. Like resting your hand, it's more natural. And I usually rest at the 9 o'clock position and it's wider, so it's comfortable there too.
Do you ever find yourself correcting it though, the autopilot?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine, no worries.
So you've been doing the test drive for how long?
I've been a beta tester since October of 2021.
Have they made any changes since you've been, or?
Oh, tons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a rolling improvement, you know, with updates that come out. I started on version 10.2 and we're now on version 11.4.4. Well, some are on 4.6. I got skipped on that update for some reason. It's interesting how it rolls out sometimes. But yeah, since the day I first got it to now, I mean, massive changes. The last patch I had was actually handling over 90% of customer trips with me not getting involved at all, which was insane.
I know in Scottsdale they have a lot of the just driverless.
Yeah, the Lyft or the Waymo vehicles and such. Yeah, I want to go out there and compare because I know they can't go on highways.
No, yeah, I've never seen one just on like side streets.
Yeah, their programming doesn't allow them to go on the highway.
See, I couldn't get this in our Tesla. Like I couldn't. My husband was like, "Let's try." I'm like, I can't. I kept wanting to touch the.
I mean, it takes getting used to, for sure. I mean, the first time I ever gave the car control, it's a really harrowing experience. You're like, what? But I've got almost 1,300 hours on it, so I'm very intimately familiar with its intricacies, its little ticks and attitudes and such.
Really?
It's the only reason I trust to use it with customers, because I can tell ahead of time if it's gonna get a little weird. It's almost like when you know a friend really well. You know when they're about to be in a bad situation. It's like, I got you, don't worry.
So you have to like just be kind of still alert.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So how do people like sleep when they drive, or?
Natural selection. I don't know. It's not illegal. It's not legal by any means. People falling asleep in their cars shouldn't have a driver's license, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's blatant abuse of the system. I never condone it.
Doing it. It's not that.
No. Well, and it's also illegal. It's just as bad as drinking in the car or sleeping in a gas car. Like it's not legal by any means. There we go. It chose the right point to get over. Very good.
Do they have it now where it'll pick you up?
No.
Not yet.
Currently, it's still limited as a level 2 system, similar to really advanced cruise control. You require a driver in the seat. Like you have to be here ready. This camera in here is actually watching me. And if I look away too much, that little internal camera will say, pay attention to the road.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, we watch a lot of videos. Is it the Tesla where you could sit at a spot and it'll even pull out from its parking, like where it's parked, and then come to...
Sure, it's a bit of a party trick currently. It was originally called Smart Summon, but it's kind of a joke that it's more like Dumb Summon, because it'll curb its tires, or it'll get stuck, or not really move. There's a going joke in the community that we're waiting for ASS actually Smart Summon. But yeah, I mean, you can have it back out of a parking lot and kind of generally drive towards you. But it's not something that's really practically usable right now. Again, more of a party trick, like, hey, watch this.
What year is this one?
This is a 2020.
2020, oh, okay. Because I know when we got ours, we were probably in the shop for like 6 months, almost every month.
Oh, wow.
Just so many issues with the car.
Which vehicle?
3 Performance.
Okay.
But I mean, just like things weren't I mean...
Were you guys early adopters, like 2018, 2019?
2016.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, these cars were built like garbage in the beginning because they hadn't really tackled mass scale yet.
That's why we were saying we probably should have waited.
Yeah. now industry leading manufacturing. It's incredible. We have a 3 and a Y. And if you guys are curious about getting a 3, wait a little longer because there's a new Project Highland Model 3 that's about to come out.
We want to get the Plaid, but we want to test drive it before we
You
make
will
that
not be
huge-
disappointed.
Have you driven it?
Oh, yes.
Jeez.
I actually was a temp for Tesla when they were first being delivered, so I drove probably 30, 40 of them.
Oh,
And
they're so pretty.
they are scary.
Oh, really?
The Plaid is something that, me personally, I feel like you should have a higher tier license to drive. It's
Like
that much
Ferrari,
power.
Like that.
Like a race, like have like a track certification.
Really?
Because it is that it's that powerful. It's ridiculous. I've never had a car actually like scare me, and I've been in pretty much any sports car you can imagine.
Yeah.
And the first time I drove a Plaid and punched it, it felt more like I was in a fighter jet or something. It was insane. All 4 wheels broke and the car started to slide, and I was like, whoo! Incredibly fun.
Yeah.
But a lot of car.
Really?
Even the long range, it has a throwback to the insane mode before it became ludicrous.
Oh, okay.
And it's the long range, it's dual motor, but I suspect they're the same carbon wrap performance Plaid motors, because that thing takes off, I think, faster than the original Ludicrous does.
What was that? 0 to 60?
I actually don't know off the top of my head. It's probably somewhere around 2.5 to 3.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe closer to 3. About the same as your performance.
It's like 3.2, right? For performance?
Yes,
Is it
3.1, 3.2-ish, yeah. The Plaid is 2 and some change in real world. But yeah, even when I drove the long ranges that get like 400 miles, when you punch that in insane mode, it feels like a Ludicrous S.
Really?
Yeah.
The
For
long
a
range
car,
on which...
the long range S, because you have the Plaid S and the long range S.
Oh.
The Plaid S just gets a little bit fewer mileage because it has it's tuned toward performance with the 3 motors. For daily use, I usually would recommend the long range, but if you really want something to blow your hat off and go to the track with...
It's not like we're ever going to use it.
Sure.
But it's just kind of neat to punch it sometimes.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know?
It is a level of excitement that you probably would have never experienced.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd get a drive. I'd go get a test drive. I mean, that'll probably ruin it for you. Like, you're going to end up getting it, but...
It's... What, they have it in La Jolla? Maybe not it. Do they have it in Mission Valley?
Well, actually, the one over here in Mission Valley closed out. So La Jolla UTC is the only one. Yeah.
Their Tesla's gone here?
At the Mission Valley, yeah.
Oh, I didn't
It was sort of heartbreaking for me, too. I used to go there all the time. That's where I would like take friends and family that had never experienced a Tesla before. They knew me by name when I would walk in.
Oh.
But yeah, UTC's still there. I think it's kind of funny because at the UTC location, you have Tesla and you also have Lucid trying to...
That's what we were going to test drive too, but we
Yeah.
canceled. Have you driven that to the Lucid?
I've not driven one. It doesn't really do it for me. I'm more of a technology-focused, practical person, and
Yeah.
the Lucid to me would kind of like, I don't know, it's unnecessary to me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the range is pretty cool, but for almost $200,000,
How much?
it's like 160, 170. A Plaid is like 140, and I mean, I don't know. I have some bias because of the level of technology in these and the simplicity. I really like good engineering, and the best part being no part. Lucid is for people I think who like to have certain leather stitching and all the buttons and gadgets and like your Mercedes and BMW
Yeah, I was
lovers.
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think just to see, just to compare.
Oh yeah, I would still recommend giving it a try. The only thing I really can't stand on it, and I do not know why they didn't take advantage of just making it a hatch, is the trunk. It's a tiny little boot lid, and it looks ridiculous and has a small mouth to fit in.
What?
Versus the Model S has the big hatch in the
Yeah.
back.
So the Lucid is just like a little...
Tiny little trunk lid. It's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen.
Wow.
It looks fantastic from the front and the side, but from the back, I don't know, it just looks like they kind of gave up. I still get excited whenever I see them driving by, though, because they're still cool. Especially having over 500 miles of range. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah, they're both at UTC, so you might as well...
Yeah, I keep
Check 'em both out?
about that. The Lucid that we're gonna go.
Yeah, I think the original Dream editions were the ones that were like 170, 180. I think they might be closer to 160 for the regular Lucid Air.
With the Plaid. But they have the same punch, do you think?
Not quite. They're more like the Ludicrous S before the Plaid came out. There is like a Project Sapphire that Lucid's working on. That's a tri-motor plaid defeater kind of car. But I don't know if they're actually in production or when they might be. It was a concept that was impressive. It was quick. It was a little bit quicker than the Plaid S was. But there's some speculation that the Plaid S might not have had the right tires. You know how people can get, they're like, I don't know, was it really a fair match?
I always feel like I'm like a loyal Tesla owner, so I always feel like, you know, you kind of want to just wait for the next better Tesla as opposed to going to like another, like a Lucid.
Sure,
or
yeah.
Or something like
See,
that.
I've always been a car guy and a tech fan, space geek, and I am drawn to, honestly, just the best product overall. And I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting that Tesla is obviously the best with what they do, but it's still fun to see what else there is.
No, for sure.
Like I love the Mustang and the F-150 Lightning.
They're kind of pretty. Like I didn't really like Mustang, but I think the new one's kind of pretty. Or the electric's kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan of those. Unfortunately, VW seems to be going the other direction. I really like the Porsche Taycan. It's a good-looking vehicle. I know it's said to have had its issues.
So much more if you could get like a Plaid, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Your cost-benefit analysis, the Plaid Model S is definitely the better one. Would you let him over? See, I'm gonna take over because the car was being a little bit too much of a Californian there. Okay.
That's crazy.
System wouldn't let person over. Sorry, just reporting that back to Tesla. Yeah, so it has the ability now. It's something that the community we've been calling the nod, where it'll see a turn signal and slow down and let them over. I don't know if it's because that car is super dirty or if it's because it wasn't the amber orange color. Maybe because it's a red turn signal, the car didn't quite see that. But yeah, usually it'll back off.
So it sees signals.
Yeah, it seems to. That's a feature gained, I think, with 11.4.4. My buddy Elias that focuses on the data side with me, he's like, I think the car is actually like recognizing people trying to get over now.
Oh, wow.
And then I started to see that too. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a new skill. Yeah, and here I usually take over because everybody crowds these first two lanes.
Yeah, so you never get bored with driving then because you're just consistently having to like watch a kid almost.
Yeah, it's incredibly fun to drive, as you know, driving a Tesla yourself, and then for me, kind of being its driving coach, so to speak, it's a blast. And it feels good to know I'm contributing to the progress of self-driving.
No, totally.
I think there's over 500,000 of us now, all over the U.S. and Canada.
It's still not a big amount. I mean, you know what I mean? It's still like kind of an elite group. 500,000 out of how many?
And well, what's funny is if you think about how many more that is than like the Waymo side and such.
You know what? I just can't believe how many Teslas we've seen even just in Mission Valley.
Yeah.
Like maybe 40%, which is a lot.
They are everywhere. Let's see. I want to get in front of this guy if he's not leaving. Can never tell if people are just going to randomly pull out around here. There we go. All right. Well, it was fun nerding out with you.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Can't wait to tell my husband all about it.
Alrighty. Oh, well, she was a fantastically fun customer. That was good. I hope I get a lot more like her so we can get these customer reactions videos flowing like they used to. I'm going to get out of this crazy airport and get on to the next one. Unfortunately, that was a failure. I could have potentially let the system continue to see if maybe it would let them over or if they would give up, but that's an etiquette scenario where it maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who may know, and let me know what your speculation is, that the color of the turn signal being red instead of amber might have prevented the nod from working. Because in just about every case I can think of where the flashes are amber, the nod seems to work and the car will back off as the other person gets over. But that case it did not. So that is a fail. It's unfortunate, but oh well. We'll see how the next one goes.